Good morning, good morning, good morning. Today is 83 of the Free to Hope presents the 12 steps applied to COVID-19. Day 83, he woke us up this morning. He breathed life into us this morning, and we should be happy. We should be grateful. No matter what the circumstances are, we yet can breathe. We yet can smell. We yet can taste. We yet can feel, hear. But the object is to listen. So day 83, it is a great and happy new day. We may be in a new year and a new month and embarking upon another new month, but this is the day the Lord has made, and it is a happy new day. Why? Because the 12-step program helped a alcoholic, drug addict, prostitute like me 31 years ago. Let's pick that up. 31 years ago, on February the 23rd of 1990. And underneath that parked car, when I hollered out to this God that I didn't know to take me out this life now or show me a better way, I haven't looked back since. So these 12 spiritual principles have helped me to stay sober one day at a time and to help another alcoholic achieve sobriety. The 12-step originators are the Fellowship of Alcoholics Anonymous over 80 plus years ago. And I don't represent Alcoholics Anonymous, but I've been a proud, grateful, and humble member for 31 years as of February the 23rd of 2021. And for that, my family members, are grateful. He also delivered me and 7 other family members from COVID-19 back in December and November, December of 2020. So for that alone, we are one humble and grateful family. And guess what? You too can obtain the wisdom, the benefits of the 12-step program as we apply them to COVID-19. But before we do anything else, let's give homage to the creator of it all. Even COVID-19, it is a living organism, okay? Everything that is on this earth and in the universe was not created by you or me. It was created by our God, And so we know that he is the beginning, the middle, and the end of everything, even our existence. So let's give homage to him. Since we are in this COVID-19 and have been for over a year now, and no telling how long we're going to be in it, let's give homage to those who have lost their lives. Over 500,000 that are reported have lost their lives to COVID-19, in some cases unnecessarily. Let's give homage to them, their spirits. Let's give homage to those who are left behind as a result of losing loved ones to this COVID-19. And if you ask them today, or you get to hear their stories, they will tell you that if I coulda, woulda, what they would have done differently in order to have their loved ones here on this earthly journey again. Those who are on their dying bed this second, this moment, having a hard time to breathe or having a machine breathe for them, let's give homage to them. We don't know if that's going to be their last breath or when the machine will be turned off. Let's give homage to them. Let's give homage to those who are just suffering through the aches and pains and the symptoms of COVID-19. For those who are intervening on behalf of those with COVID-19, those of us who are doing the next right thing regarding COVID-19, and yet those who do not believe still this COVID-19 is real. So in other words, we need to give homage in a moment of silence for just 30 seconds for the entire human race. And at the head of this entire human race is our Creator. So join me with 30 seconds of a moment of silence. Thank you. Do you know why we give a moment of silence? Similar to what we do in the 12-step programs of Alcoholics Anonymous, Gamblers Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, Al-Anon Anonymous, because there, by the grace of God, there go I. That's why we give a moment of silence to recognize that we should be grateful regardless of the circumstances. Because if we are applying these 12 spiritual principles, we are applying them to any and all physical conditions. And that's the difference of this being a happy new day, because when we apply those 12 spiritual principles, it will be a happy new day in spite of this earthly journey. Donna Lawrence says, we are not a natural being having a spiritual experience. We are a spiritual being having and walking and encased in this natural experience. Therefore, we no longer practice feeding the flesh, but feeding our spirit that was God-given to us. And when we do that through applying these 12 spiritual principles, we will have no problem following the CDC's simple suggestions of washing our hands, wearing a mask, social distancing, contact tracing, getting tested, and getting vaccinated, and continuing the cycle. Yes, until our Creator says enough is enough, like he did for me 31 years ago underneath that parked car. Edwina, that's enough. You don't have to live one more moment of that vicious cycle. Edwina, on December the 16th of 2020, at age 65, he said, enough is enough. You are no longer infected by COVID-19. But there's something I have for you to do. I've prepared you to not only share your experience, strength, and hope with applying the 12 spiritual principles in all your affairs, but now applying them to COVID-19, which you didn't do before you contracted it, which is why you contributed to contracting COVID-19 and infecting members of your family. However, I am shedding grace and mercy on you so that I can use broken, wounded, shattered people like you to rescue wounded, shattered, broken people like you. So therefore, I want to use you to help stop the perpetuation of this devastating pandemic that I only know the beginning, the middle, and the end. It's not the first, nor will it be the last pandemic that y'all human beings, my creation, will go through. But I have presented you these 12 spiritual principles to apply for those who choose to. I will not take your self-will. You will keep that. Because I know as the creator, you need me, but I want you to want me. And until that happens, I will continue to choose the ones that I can and will and prepare to use. So this is going to be an exciting day because I have been sharing with you different moments of my journey. So you all know that I celebrated 31 years on February the 23rd. And I have another surprise for you, just to share with you my awesome journey. My creator knows my destination. He knows my destiny, but he wants me to embrace the process and embrace the journey, because that is where the lessons lie. All right, so I want to share with you some of the journey from drug addiction, alcoholism, and the whole lifestyle that goes with it by reading my journal of 1993. This is my journal that I wrote and kept the first 4 years in recovery. So it captures my thoughts, my feelings, my attitudes, my behaviors, both good and bad, because I didn't know God was going to publish it. So when I say everything is in this journal, everything is in this journal. But I've been set free from recovery. I have emerged empowered to give hope to others, help others prosper equally. Is that you? I don't know. My job is to plant the seed. He does the rest. But let me share with you what I wrote in my journal on my anniversary on February the 23rd of 1993. So when I suggest to you to keep a journal, this is why, so that we can reflect back to where we was, what we were thinking, what we did, how we were feeling, and how those decisions at that time determined our next move. And so when I finished reading my journal entry from February the 23rd of 1993, I'm going to also share with you a video of day one of me being in quarantine with COVID-19. You will see that I don't look like what I've been through. All right. So listen to my journal entry. I only had 3 years in sobriety. Now I celebrate 31 years. But these entries are my reference entries that I can go back and read where I was and how far God has brought me, because I want him. Yes. So here we go. Good morning, Lord. And Lord, I praise your holy name. Lord, I thank you for the gift of life this day. I thank you, Lord, for all the blessings you have bestowed upon me. Lord, I thank you for being the Father of all creation, even a little creature like me. Lord, I thank you for the opportunity to experience true humility in this very act of writing to you. Lord, today especially marks our 3rd year anniversary of sobriety. You continue to amaze me with your love, grace, and mercy. I am truly very grateful to you, Lord, for the strength and courage you have given me to continue onward on my spiritual journey. I am truly grateful to you, Lord, and the fellowship you have provided for me. I am truly grateful for the humility you have given me to open up and express my fears and doubts. I am truly grateful for the way you have guided my path and for the realization that without you, Lord, I am nothing. But most of all, Lord, I am truly grateful for the deliverance out of darkness into the light. Lord, I can honestly say that I am grateful for the pain and for the joy, for the trials and tribulations, for the ups and the downs, for the gift of life itself. I realize, Lord, that I need you and have always needed you. I realize that you are the captain of my ship, and all I need is to be willing. Lord, the willingness I have is unbelievable, and I pray that I continue to be willing. Being willing has brought me out of a lot of situations where before I might have given up. The willingness to seek guidance from you and others have kept me from bondage of self. Lord, being willing have allowed me to express my true feelings and my desire to change. Being willing has allowed me to utilize tools of the fellowship to aid me in any situation. Being willing has allowed me to touch and be touched by other sick and suffering souls. But most of all, Lord, being willing has allowed you into my life. I think back over the past 3 years and I see your love, grace, and your mercy. I see your hand and your arms extended out to me. I visualize the times that I received them. And although somewhat afraid, I accepted them. I visualize myself in your arms against your bosom, being held and rocked like a baby in the arms of his mother. I visualize the Lord, I visualize the love, warmth, and security being there next to you. Lord, you have given me so much insight thus far of your loving power. And then again, I realize it is just the tip of the iceberg of what you really have for me to see. All I need to continue to do is visualize more and more of your endless love and mercy. Lord, once again, I am in need of your guidance. I am in need of your strength and your courage. I am in need of acknowledgement of your will for me. Lord, I need not tell you what is going on in my life, for you already know. But Lord, you know me and you know that it is a need for me to write about the joys and the pain, the fears and the need for faith. Lord, recently I had to turn over completely to you the outcome of the house situation. And you know why? It is too much to handle, and I alone can no way endure the pressure. I feel the need of my spirit to be quiet and calm through this storm, only seeking strength and courage to endure this, no matter what the outcome. For you know, Lord, the enemy is hard at work and attempting to break my spirit. But Lord, I know if I rely totally on you, he don't have a chance. Lord, I pray at this very moment that your will be done and for the acceptance of it. Although the way may seem dark, but I visualize the light at the end of the tunnel. And as long as I visualize the light, I know that that light is you. Thank you, Lord. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. I love you, Lord. Oh, happy anniversary. And this is a picture of me and my sister on my first year anniversary, really. My sister Louise. Right? So I wanted to share with you how keeping a journal upon the suggestion of my sponsor back in February of 1990, where she suggested I keep a journal of my feelings, my attitudes, my ideas, my behaviors, my fears, my hopes, my dreams. And I'm so glad I took that suggestion. But I wanted to share with you how when we yield, when we apply these 12 spiritual principles, we are opening up our spirit that's God-given only to allow ourselves to be used, prepared, remolded, reshaped for his purpose and his purpose alone. And I just wanted to share with you that entry. And when it came, to the mother on the bosom, I immediately thought about my mother, Helen Jones Lamar Hall Taylor. I had a praying mother. And out of her 6 children, 4 of us were addicted at the same time. I happened to be the worst. But out of her 6 children, God chose me. I know why now, because he made me. He chose me to be sitting before you, to share my experience, my strength, my hope, my wisdom, my journey, my processes, because he know I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Pops. But he also knows that I'm transparent. And there's one thing that I am serious about, and that is my recovery. When he delivered me from underneath that parked car over 31 years ago, I have learned not to give anything or anybody that much power ever again. Not even COVID-19, to go back to where God brought me from. And that's why I have been chosen for the God of my understanding to use this vessel to speak through me to you. So there's something else I want to share with you, right? I want to share with you my first, my day one of when I contracted COVID-19. And I want to show you the video of what I look like, on day, I think it was December the 3rd, but it was day one. And listen, you will see how transparent I am and why I believe in taking off all the masks and putting on the mask that's designed to save my life. I contributed to contracting COVID-19 because I didn't want to wear the masks all the time consistently. I didn't want to wash my hands all the time. I did not want to social distance. No, you can't tell me who to be around and how long. No. And yet, I possess the knowledge and the experience of the 12 steps, but I was defiant. I was stubborn. I was rebellious. I was in denial. Therefore, I know I contributed to contracting COVID-19, but it was my creator who said enough is enough. But I'm going to use that experience of you being defiant, self-centered, selfish, egotistical, prideful, on image time. I'm going to use all that for the purpose of saving one other person, one family, one culture, one community, one city, one state, one country. And if they all watch and listen to me come through you, y'all can simultaneously and in a holistic approach stop the perpetuation of this COVID-19 and its devastating impact, effect, outcome, and fatalities. But the truth be told, not everybody is going to listen. So therefore, I want you to present yourself just the way you were under the effect, impact of COVID-19, so that they can hopefully see instead of hear, but listen to the behavior of you having Edwina COVID-19. So I want to share that with you, all right? So, okay, bear with me. Okay, I'm going to add to the screen.
Morning, good morning, good morning. Yes, this is Edwina. That me, y'all. And I want to share my 14-day quarantine process with you. And so first I thought about doing it live, but then I said, well, no, let me start with doing the videos. Okay, so the day is December the 3rd, and I received notification yesterday evening. Okay, so but before I get into all of that, let me tell you what happened and the story. Okay. So let me put my glasses on. Not that I need to see y'all, because I can, because I'm doing my video. And I'm going to put my mother's hat on, okay? All right. So now, it's unbelievable how we as human beings convince ourselves, tell ourselves that everything is okay, it's going to be okay. It's called rationalization and justification. All right. So the COVID-19 episodes began with my 7-year-old granddaughter who lives in Philly. Okay. And she attended a school where someone was diagnosed with COVID-19. So, of course, they notified the parents and closed the school down for 14 days. And my granddaughter was quarantined in her house with her mother, her two sisters, and her granddad. Okay. This was a couple months ago. When did school start? September. Okay. So, um, sometime in, it was either towards the end of September, yeah, end of September, that she was um, quarantined for 2 weeks. Now, her grandfather is 78, her mother is 40, uh, 42, and her sister is 13, and her baby sister is 2. So she was quarantined in the basement for 2 weeks. Okay. Now, you would think, maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, but the statistics and the different reporting say one thing and another. But before she went back to school, she was not tested to see if she was negative or positive. She just did the 14-day quarantine, supposedly. Okay. Now, we heard about it here in Delaware, of course, and we didn't think nothing of it either. Okay. So then, about uh, on November the on November the let me see on November the her birthday, November the 10th, right? We, the family, my daughter and I, decided to get uh, Amira's cousins together, 2 2-year-olds, a 8-year-old, and a 7-year-old, and a 9-year-old, and a 13-year-old, and a 15-year-old, and a 21-year-old. So these were all her first cousins. And myself and one of the mothers of my grandchildren and my daughter. And we all went to this place in Willow Grove, Pennsylvania. And so, it wasn't crowded. And
Who that? Come here, Mama.
we had instructions on what to
Oh,
do and everything. And like anything else,
here, baby.
we just tried to make the best of it. Okay. So, mind you, um, we had a good time, and we had our mask on, then we didn't have it on, then we took it off.
Put on clean
We
clothes.
ate together, we took pictures together and
You had to take
kept
them
it
off.
moving. And at the end of the night, everybody said goodbye and whatnot. Okay. So, in the meantime, nobody's
Washcloth and wash your face.
have
Wash your
any
underarms and wash
coughing
your feet.
systems,
Wash your butt.
sneezing, all that kind of stuff. Okay.
You sit
So
there.
then
Show it.
that next weekend, or that weekend, the grandfather was taken to the emergency hospital in Abington, Pennsylvania. And after they did a series of tests on him, they diagnosed him with COVID-19. Okay. So that meant that everybody in my daughter's house needed to be tested. And because my granddaughters, were around their granddad, and we were all together on Nene's birthday, we all needed to get tested. So we got the information Saturday night Saturday afternoon that he was tested asymptomatic. And honey, Sunday we was in Walgreens, all 9 of us, in the parking lot waiting for 3 hours to get tested. Okay. So we was in line, and we went and got something. We went to Graw Green, and they got some chips and soda and stuff while we sitting there waiting. And it was a long, long line, and we were told that there might not be a chance that we will get tested because of the length of time that they were open to do the testing and the amount of cars. So we decided to stay in line, anyway. So we were the next one up that was in front of us, but we saw that we wasn't going to make it because of the 5 o'clock shutdown. No problem. So we accepted it, and so my daughter um, my daughter and her oldest daughter went back to Philly, and they said they were going to get tested. But in the meantime, me and the other six said we'll just go back tomorrow morning or go to a different place. And that's what we did. Okay. So we went to community, Claymont Community Center up in Claymont, Delaware. And of course, before then, I had notified everybody that were a part of the party in our group. So I notified all the parents and anybody else who we were around, that could have been exposed, right? And so that Monday, we stood in line, got there at 7:15. The doors opened at 8:30. We were second in line, and the six of us, the seven of us, was it seven of us? Yeah, the seven of us got tested. And so we come back home and we're doing what we do. We still engaging, not thinking nothing of it. And we get the test results that two of my grandchildren tested positive. One was the newly 8-year-old and the 10-year-old. Okay. So they said they had to be quarantined, of course, and the rest of us received negative. Okay. And so we started the quarantine and we started the isolation. And thank God that the two grands could quarantine together. Now, in the midst of that, they had to do their homework, and they had to eat, and they had to do what they needed to do while in quarantine. So I gave them my bedroom suite, which is a master bedroom with a full bath. And the rest of the family members went about our business and staying away from them and doing what we needed to do. Okay. So that was about 16 days ago, maybe 18 days ago. So at the end of I'm not going to say even 14, because we did cheat. I ain't going to listen. Y'all know I'm transparent. Okay. So the 14-day quarantine would have been that Sunday. Um, but we decided, me and my daughter, okay, that we would cut the quarantine short because, again, nobody symptomatic. I mean, nobody was showing no symptoms and so forth and so on, and doing the research and all that kind of stuff. And so my daughter, I had no intentions of doing a Thanksgiving dinner, and my daughter wanted to, and I said, okay, well, come on down, you know, bring your dad, bring, uh, the babies and whatnot. So we all got together for Thanksgiving, and it was a total of nine, maybe 10, nine of us. Okay, and so after we had dinner and everything, um, I said, well, the 14 days is over on Sunday, so we all going to go get tested on Monday, right? And So I told my daughter and all, and so my daughter and her oldest daughter got tested. It was negative, and they sent the father home, their father home, and whether he was negative or not, they sent him home. So, um, I mean, they didn't retest him. Okay. So anyway, when Monday came around, I said, well, we all going to get tested on Monday, but the real actual day wasn't until Tuesday. But I said, you know what? Let's just go up there anyway. So we went up there Monday, me and the three children, because the others were home with their mother. So the four of us went Monday, and we were still engaging. I must say that I felt some mm, shortness, not shortness of breath, but I couldn't take a real deep breath without feeling something, right? So, and I started thinking, and I said, okay, let me pay attention, right? So, in the meantime, yesterday we get notification that two of us were positive and two of us were negative. Okay, so I immediately, uh, I don't know, did a woosah because even though they said suggestions, CDC, all that kind of stuff, they said that we shouldn't make any plans, shouldn't go anywhere, none of that. Well, we had planned a trip to Orlando, Florida, no, to Kissimmee, Florida, December the 11th through the 20th. And in the process of me following up on everything, making sure the reservations are sure, we were still planning on going. And now that everybody had their tests done and were waiting, we just assumed that we would still be able to go. So that put a halt to that stuff, right? I tell you, boy, um, God does for us what we can't do for ourselves. Okay. Now I got my mother's hat on, and I don't. I'm not a hat person, but I'm gonna put it on anyway. Okay, or adjust it. So anyway, as soon as I follow up on everything, now I had to turn around and cancel everything. Okay. And in the meantime, I had to figure out how the 8-year old and I are going to quarantine while the 10-year old and the 14-year-old have charge of the house, right? And so we had a family meeting and we discussed what was going to be done, what needed to be done, how we was going to do it. And I'm upstairs in my suite with my master bedroom, and the 8-year old, ooh, she is in her room, and she's able to use my bathroom. And the two older ones are downstairs in the suite where I used to be at, downstairs, right? So we are in our appropriate areas, and I am in my room and had my coffee, did my little morning meditation and all that. And then I said, well, I know I've been doing my Free to Hope conversations, I've been running reruns. And then I thought about it. I said, well, maybe I can share with you all this 14-day quarantine experience with me. Okay. And so,
So as you can see, by the grace of God, if you are from Missouri and you needed to definitely see that I don't look like what I've been through, and how this picture right here definitely demonstrates the before and after right here, okay? And that was me there in the corner, and I was sweaty, I was achy. You can see that I look very sickly. I couldn't breathe to my fullest capacity. My taste buds were affected. My smelling was affected. My whole body felt like a toothache. And as I transitioned and got better, I continued to share the journey. And now we are still in the sharing of the journey, now day 83. Now, I will show you part 2 of day 1, and it got into more details of the process. And as you may have heard, if you listened, the process and the journey, but also the good and bad decisions and choices. Hopefully, you heard and listened to taking this COVID-19 a little bit for granted. You may have heard, and hopefully, you listened to jump into our own conclusions, making assumptions, right? And if you heard and listened, that in spite of, that's what I mean. I know I contributed to contracting COVID-19. That in spite of having members of my family, I was still willing to take the trip to Florida, one of the biggest hot spots at the time. Now you talking about being defiant, rebellious, being stupid. That's what I mean by this self-centeredness, this selfishness. Willing to subject my loved ones, particularly my grandchildren, I told you as young as 2 years old, to their grandfather who's 78. He's upstairs now. But we all was blessed by our Creator to survive COVID-19. And so I just wanted to show you, just in case you are from Missouri, maybe not literally, but I'm a tangible person. As you can see, I'm a transparent person. I didn't have these pearly white dentures in. No, I did not. And guess what? On one of them slides, look, I took them out, put them in, took them out, put them. What? Because I am no longer wearing the mask. The masks that are designed to take my life, but putting on the mask that's designed to save my life and the life of my loved ones. And so tomorrow I'm going to show you part 2 of day 1. Yesterday I showed you a 29-minute video of me describing my last day of getting high, getting drunk, and the encounters I had with my stepson, and how that was the last time I got high. February the 22nd of 1990. And I shared with you that video of that I created last year on my 30th anniversary, where the Spirit helped me to launch my Free to Hope, presenting the 12 steps to help others and give others hope. And I shared that with you. So let me, the time that I do have, go back to the beginning like I normally would. First, giving acknowledgement to God and giving Him the praise and the glory, and relishing in this new day that now I can present to you regular information these last 10 minutes, okay? So the first thing I want to do is to let you know that as a result of doing these 12 steps, that I want to be able to continue this platform as much as I can and as long as I can, so that we can share this information with as many people as possible. So I want to acknowledge my sponsors, and they are Crafty Crab Seafood, where I had my 31st anniversary dinner, where they practice social distancing and they practice um, the hand sanitizer and all of the CDC's suggestions and requirements, right? And I got pictures to show you, all right? So we also want to thank Free to Hope. Free to Hope was my launch. Free stands for From Recovery Emerge Empowered to Give Hope to Others. And we also want to thank Women Do Haul Transportation Services, Mr. C's Barbershop. He's responsible for my crown. Morgans of Delaware, Lady T at Morgans of Delaware, a lot of my Afrocentric attire. Jewelry by Catherine Butler, and Divine Light, which I wear their mask often because it parallels with my theme with Dr. Carl Jong Young, right? Dr. Carl Jong, Dr. Bob, and Bill W., our co-founders. And so they realized that the religion field couldn't help us, the medical field couldn't help us, that we as alcoholics with this disease of alcoholism needed divine intervention, divine providence, and therefore it showed us the divine light. And I wear their mask as well. So if you want to be a sponsor, please contact me at edwina.bell@yahoo.com or 302-690-6679, because the information is free to the public. Similar to a 12-step program, freely we receive, freely we give. But because I am not sponsored by Alcoholics Anonymous, they don't do that. It's against our traditions. But on this platform that I am presenting to you, sharing my own experience, my strength, and my hope, so that I can share with as many people as possible the benefit and the wisdom of how they have worked in my life up until even now, and with COVID-19. The resources that I have been applying since April the 1st, as a result of an article by Dr. Scott T. Allison in Psychology Today, and I'll show you that next slide, and also breaking down of the 12 steps by Jason Waller, who is a recovering alcoholic. He has an awesome website, and he also breaks down the information in a very simplistic way, and we want to definitely acknowledge that. So Jason Waller and Dr. Scott T. Allison. So in the article of Dr. Scott T. Allison, he wrote how wisdom of the 12-step programs can help get us through April of 2020. Now we are in a new month, a new year, and a new day. But the 7 points that he uses from the Al-Anon 12-step program, which is the same 12 spiritual principles, he focused on 7 points: letting go of control, patience, keeping the focus on oneself, trust, living in the present, social connections, and service to others. So when we talk about the 12 steps that were created by Alcoholics Anonymous back in the 1930s, we'll see that they applied it to alcohol, but other adversities such as gambling, addiction, love addiction, narcotics addictions, right, work addictions, that we now can apply those same 12 spiritual principles to COVID-19 Anonymous. And they will read as such. We admitted we were powerless over COVID-19, that our lives had become unmanageable. 2, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity, soundness of mind. That's all that means. 3, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood him. 4, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5, admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6, were entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character, right? 7, humbly ask him, wait a minute, come on, we're going too fast here, going too fast, come on. We humbly ask him to remove our shortcomings. 8, made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. 9, made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others, even you. 10, continued to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, we promptly admitted it. 11, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood him, praying only for the knowledge of his will for us and the power to carry it out. And 12, having had a spiritual awakening, as a result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to others regarding COVID-19 and to practice these principles in all our affairs. And so, as a result of presenting this information to you, we recognize that we have been able to share with you all the information that Dr. Scott T. Allison said in his article in Psychology Today, that those 7 points from an Al-Anon 12-step approach can be used. For those who are new to the 12 steps, those who need to be reminded of the 12 steps, then my goal is to share with you how we in Alcoholics Anonymous believe in repetition, believe in that was my son. That Dr. Dwight Kenneth Dockery II. That was my son. That was my son. That was my son. You don't mess me up now, right? Thank you, Lord. That was my son. My son, Dr. Dwight Kenneth Dockery II. That was the little boy who used to sit on the steps and say, Mommy's coming, but Mommy never showed up. That was the boy who used to take my picture to bed with him, saying, where's my mommy? Where's my mommy? And thank you, Spirit, for presenting this opportunity, because during these celebratory times and celebrating my anniversary, right, I have to include my children. So I don't know where I was, what I was saying don't matter, because I had to yield to the Spirit and acknowledge my son. He was teased as a little boy, your mom's a prostitute, she's a crackhead. Boys, girls used to tease him. And he would say, Mommy, what is a prostitute? But it was him and his sister, my daughter, Kenesha T. Dockery. Here they go, right here, y'all. Here go my children. Here go. Where you at? Come here. Here go my babies. Here go my babies, y'all. That said, guess what? We were able to get into Alateen. They did, while I got into Alcoholics Anonymous, the 12-step program, and family counseling. And as a result, God not only restored me, but he restored my children too. And for that, I am truly grateful. All right, so, okay, I'll give y'all some more of this later, right? All right, so if it's God's will that we are reunited tomorrow for day 84, I will continue with what I've been sharing. I also will present to you information, hold on, about the other part 2 of my day 1 of the quarantine of having COVID-19 and what it looked like, because I definitely don't look like what I've been through. And so I ask you this question. Are you being proactive, reactive, inactive, or responsible regarding COVID-19? Are you in the prevention mode, the intervention mode, or the restoration mode of COVID-19? And I want to be able to share with you that we are can be a part of the solution and not a part of the problem. And so when we do that, you better believe applying these 12 spiritual principles, I have been able to share my experience, my strength, my hope with those, and demonstrating not only am I washing my hands, wearing my mask, social distancing, contact tracing, got tested, and I also got vaccinated. And if you are from Missouri, let me show you what that looks like as well. As I close, be safe, and if it's God's will that we are reunited on day 84, I look forward to seeing you. Right now, look at what it means to get vaccinated.
All right, here we go, my daughter. Got it? All righty, put your Band-Aid on. We'll watch you for about 15 minutes. Okay. And then we'll check on you and we'll give you a date. In about a month, we'll call you. How about that?
In a month?
Yeah.
All right.
28 days.
All righty. Can you take a steel shot next to the doctor here?
All right. So you see, if you're from Missouri, listen, I will show you that I got vaccinated and I'm waiting on the second dose and get that booster. So if it's God's will, I'll see you tomorrow. I'll close with the front cover of my book.